Dr. Aparna. I'm an educationist, physiologist, and a social entrepreneur. I can say I'm a proud founder of EdBlend, which is a complete K-12 app, and the only app which is having an inclusive part to it. It has a special dyslexic zone. So today I'm really privileged to have a very esteemed educators to discuss a very important topic, that is fostering the culture of self-directed learning in the schools. So let us please welcome Mrs. Chandrika Banerjee. So a briefing about Mrs. Chandrika. Mrs. Chandrika Banerjee, she had completed her schooling from Sophia Convent, Kota, Rajasthan. She holds a master's degree in botany, and there's a long list of her achievements which I would like to enumerate. So her academic prowess extends further with a postgraduate diploma in industrial pollution management from the National Institute of Environment, Lucknow. So as soon as I've seen ma'am's profile, I was like, ma'am is she can be a very good guide for our SDG goals and the climate changes, and she had done a lot of work on it. So Mrs. Chandrika Banerjee, she has a teaching career spanning around 22 years, and she has spent 17 years at Vidya Pratishtan's City Public School, Pune. And she has grown as a vice principal and over there, and she has also become the principal in 2020. And she has contributed significantly as a teaching faculty and graphic designer, one more feather in her cap. And she has worked with renowned institutions like Arena Multimedia, Chennai, and also Barco NV, Raceland NV in Belgium, Europe. So her professional journey expands into the pre-press expertise at MBD Group of Publication. And also, it's a long list of achievements. I'll just enumerate in brief. So her awards and achievements are the Times Green Champ Environment Teacher Award by Times of India, Nation Builder Award presented by the District Governor, and Dronacharya Award by the Rotary Club Pune. And she was also conferred the honor by the National Education and Human Resource Development Organization, Mumbai, Maharashtra, the Ideal Principal Award in 2021, and National Clean India Activity Principal Award, again by the National Education and Human Resource Development Organization, Mumbai, National Builder Award 2023 by the Rotary Club, and the list really goes on. We are truly honored to have you here, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Well, my school's name is Vidya Pratishtan's Magarpata City Public School.
Okay, excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not well versed in the Marathi thing, so please excuse me if I am unable to pronounce it properly.
No problem, ma'am. Actually, Magarpata City is a township where the school is actually located, and that's why it is named as Magarpata City Public School. And it is under Vidya Pratishtan. Vidya Pratishtan, the president is Honorable Sharad Pawar sir. Sharad Chandraji Pawar sir.
That's
under
great.
His presidency, yes. That's really, so he's an inspiration for all of us.
Yes, ma'am, of course. And thank you so much for enlightening us. And we are honored to have you here, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for inviting me.
Next on our panel is Mrs. Manjari Raspale, the principal. Excuse me. Can we have Manjari, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
So next in our panel is Mrs. Manjari Raspale, the principal. She's also a district training coordinator from Wardha, CBSE resource person, an NTA observer, and international certified career coach. She has done MA in English, BEd and MEd with a diploma in educational psychology, diploma in outcome-based education, and academic quality assurance. along with a diploma in heartfulness and Reiki. And she has done a lot of paper presentations on ancient Indian knowledge and won quite a few awards. That is the Indian Prime Women Icon Award 2022, Ideal Principal Award by All India Citizens Development Center 2023, JSM Academy Best Principal Award 2023, Special Certificate of Appreciation by Indian Forum of Educators for active participation in Global Wellness Summit 2022, and also the Guru Award by Brain World Group, Pune. So we are very honored to have you here, ma'am. Both of you are so accomplished that if I read the complete profile, probably it will take the whole session. I'm totally honored to have you here, and we shall try to delve into the very important topic, that is fostering the culture of self-directed learning in the schools. So, just a preview about myself. So, I am also actively involved in medical education. So, I have done, along with my degrees, MBBS and MD, I have done some advanced course in medical education. So, just like you people are doing the BEds and MEDs, we are also being trained as teachers for the MBBS students. So, as a part of this, we are as such, the medical students are considered to be adults, and we are still inculcating that self-directed learning in them. And when I have noticed how important and how powerful the self-directed learning is, I thought it is very important to inculcate that self-directed learning right from the schools. So typically, the children are considered to be, what we are teaching is considered to be pedagogy, where we are directing the students. But I feel it is very important that we move to some extent towards the self-directed learning. On this context, ma'am, I would like to ask you a question. Can you throw light on what is your idea of self-directed learning?
Well,
Question.
self-directed learning is referring to the educational environment in such a manner that an individual takes the ownership and prepare himself or herself in the process, and they are independent to choose their interest, and they are responsible for their own career, their own growth, and there is flexibility in such a kind of you know self-directed education or learning, because there is flexibility. They can choose what is best for them. So I feel what NEP is bringing in as self-directed environment in education, I think that is going to help in future development of our students.
That's very well said, ma'am. I would also like to take the insights of Mrs. Manjari, ma'am. Manjari, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. When I thought about self-directed learning, I divided it into the five vowels, that A, E, I, O, U. So A for autonomy to learn. Students should get autonomy to learn. I for independence. They should get independence for choosing the method of learning. They should choose that in what way the child wants to learn. And E, exposure, autonomy, exposure, to give children exposure. I, independence, and O means overlook. That means they should take overview of their learning. That how much is, as we call it as recapitulation. So how much the child has come forward, and then can take a look at the back. So taking overview, that autonomy should be given to the child, and then of understanding the true nature of life. That is self-directed learning according to. So all these A, E, I, O, U, then all these vowels get mixed to form the self-directed learning exercise.
So that's a very good insights from both our educators, the esteemed educators. So just to sum it up, my overview of the thing is probably as you both have summed up. So it is taking the onus for one's own learning, So probably they should have the choice of what they want to learn, and they should take the responsibility of learning and the method. They should be able to choose the method, how they want to learn, and they should be able to manage, monitor, and regulate their own learning. So that is the whole summary of, I think, what is self-directed learning. So that is the thing. But may I know, ma'am, from Manjri ma'am, so what is the prerequisites? Suppose if we want to foster the culture of self-directed learning, what should be the prerequisites for LDL, SDL in the students? So how prepared are the students for SDL, or what are the prerequisites?
Yeah, when we bring this thought to the level of the child from standard one, so we find that whatever my observations are there, because I am the principal of the school where the primary is also there. So curiosity lies in child. So we had given them. I have prepared some Maria Montessori activities for my pre-primary children for preparing them for standard one learning. So since that age, I found that finding out the sounds, different sounds. So we prepared some um, small boxes where different things were kept, and then we were making noise of that. So curiosity can be developed, and that curiosity lies in child since birth. Whatever type of child he or she would be, some or the other ways they are having somewhere in the core of heart to know the thing. So that is the prerequisite thing which is required to foster self-development, self-directed learning. So
I think that's beautifully said, ma'am. I think curiosity is at the core of self-directed learning. So we as teachers need to trigger that curiosity, what I
yeah,
believe. That's very beautifully summed up, ma'am. Ma'am Chandrika, ma'am, can I have you
Yes,
here?
yes, ma'am.
So I have some doubts regarding the self-directed learning. So when we are saying self-directed learning, is it true that the student has to completely learn by himself, sitting in a corner or being lonely, or he can take the help of educator or his peer group? What is the real idea of SDL?
Well, this is something a child needs to be nurtured by the environment, not only on his own, but he has to be guided by the teachers, guided by the parents as well. So the guidance is the most important thing for which the teachers should be well equipped, which can be through various teaching teachers, you can say various techniques which teachers will learn from joining other groups, or they can be collaborative learning, I must say. It's not that teachers can be guide, but at the same time, there should be learners. They should learn from the child's interest, what the child requires, and accordingly shape up or groom them up. So this is something which develops a student-teacher relationship with proper guidance and mentorship. It cannot be completely on the child. It needs guidance, of course. And teacher should enhance their teaching professionalism, because they cannot be like just teaching in the classroom and going. They have to go deep into the children's need, their requirement, what they actually want to be in their life. So they have to nurture them accordingly. So I feel this helps the teachers also, because it is not just teaching, but it is a kind of job satisfaction.
That's a very pertinent point, ma'am, I must say. So, as ma'am has summed up, we cannot, self-directed learning necessarily does not mean that all the work has to be done by the child. definitely there is a role of teacher in guiding the student towards the self-directed learning. And definitely the self-directed learning must inculcate the process of collaboration, whether it is with the peer group, whether it is with the parents, or whether it is with the teacher. I think that has been wonderfully summed up. And one more very pertinent point what you have raised is we have to nurture the student by understanding what the needs of the students are and what understanding what his desires and aspirations. I think that's beautifully said, ma'am. Right. Yes, Manjari, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. So I would like to ask you, ma'am, what is the necessity? Why we should promote the STL? What is the importance of STL for the students, especially in the school?
Yeah. Actually, the role of the teacher, because so many gadgets are there. Now, when we were at children, our circle was very small. We were learning from the teacher only. But now the area has been increased, and many times it has been increased that not only the parents, but there are so many gadgets which are providing knowledge to the child. So I feel that the child who has completed 6 years of his age, he understand what he has to do, what he wants to do, what are his desires. He understands it very clearly. Many children are very clear in their thoughts that I want to learn in this way. They share their ideas with the teacher. So I feel that the autonomy should be given to the children to learn many things. And I have been started this practice since 2 years. When I joined this new English of Academy of Genius, I found that children just need exposure. You just send them in the field of exposure, you just guide them the way, because now the role of the teacher has been changed. Earlier, the teacher's role was sage on a stage, but now the teacher's role has been shifted to a guide by your side. So I feel that STL will definitely develop an individual into a very responsible and responsive future citizen of the country. As in NEP also expects that we should follow the Indian knowledge system. Our Indian knowledge system was not like Macaulay. What Macaulay said, that the ability to get graduate and to get the degree job of the clerk. But now this scenario and this concept has been changed. We are again moving towards old Indian culture, education culture, by adopting the new and universally accepted methodology of learning. And that's why STL plays a vital role, and it is required, it is the need of the RI.
I think it is a wonderful perspective, ma'am, presented by you. What you were trying to say is our ancient Indian systems, they were based on STL. Like if we see if we have seen the Mahabharata and all, the disciples were taking the Guru as role model and they were observing the things, and by observation, they were learning the thing. So that is one, prominent and beautiful example which is already there in our culture, and we are coming back to our roots. That is one, different perspective that has been presented to you. And this is the first time I am hearing this perspective. Thank you for the beautiful perspective, ma'am. Thank you.
May I come in? Actually, through this STL, we are preparing our students for the 21st century skills. Now, 21st
Definitely.
century skills actually concentrate on the problem solving technique,
Exactly.
logical thinking, and critical thinking. These are something very important. If the child tries to, learn self, and self learning is there, then he tries to do some research. And while doing research, he's communicating with his peer group, he's communicating with various people around him, and therefore the creativity which increases, the creativity is developing every time the child tries to do more and more into the research of that particular subject. So I feel that for the 21st century skill, this is a very, very important thing which a child requires in order to develop the problem solving techniques. Because nowadays, even in our boards, like in our school, it is like we are following ICSE. So in ICC also, logical questions are increasing because we are preparing our children to face the future. So I feel that STL is the future of our children.
Exactly, ma'am. I think what I have noticed out of my experience, I have twins, both are fifth graders. So, as a mother who was and an educationist who was actively involved, so what I have noticed is the kids today, there is no limit to how much they can grasp. The only thing is they should be interested and we should be able to spark that curiosity. And there is no dearth of resources nowadays. You know, if they have a question in the mind, there is no dearth of resources from which they can find their answers and further research on it, well deeply into it. And I feel all the skills what you have mentioned are encompassed in this one concept called STL. All the collaborative skills, they are talking to their peers, they are trying to gain knowledge from various sources, they are talking to the parents, they're talking to the teachers, and they're trying to create something. No, all the 21st century skills are very much embedded in this one concept called SDL. So when we try to promote SDL, we are automatically helping them in creating all the 21st century skills. I think that's wonderful, ma'am. This discussion is really going in an interesting way, and we are getting some new insights and different perspective of what we thought we already knew. I think that's great, ma'am. Yeah. Manjari, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. So now when we have spoken about the resources, ma'am, uh, what is the role of technology when we are saying SDL? How much important is the role of technology in promoting SDL or acquiring self-directed learning?
Ma'am, it has been found that visualizing everything takes longer time in classroom. If I'm explaining the earth and something else, I would like to celestial bodies if I'm explaining them. So to make them visualize, it takes longer time. Some of them might be visualizing earth in square shape. Some of them might be visualizing things in other shape. So variations of ideas are there. Instead, if we have brought a model into the classroom, if we are showing them some videos of real celestial bodies, if we are showing them the real evidences on the board, then it would be beneficial as well as 100 times more effective while it comes to the methodology of that. But when we think about SDL and technology, so flipped classrooms, blended learning, for these methodologies also technology helps a lot with the teacher. Apart from that, just as we are having a particular publications book, so they are having some app. So the teacher sends some videos. If the child does not understand any concept, then she sends the videos. The next day, the child brings the doubt to the class. Then asks the teacher the doubts. So for such understanding and exploration, apart from that, some findings or research methodologies also, we use the technology. Technology is an unavoidable part of life.
Exactly, ma'am. I think you have brought in a very important concept of flipped learning, which I have been researching on. So my topic in advanced course of medical education was very much the blended learning. So we had experimented on the medical students by doing the blended way and the traditional way, and we tried to research the findings in terms of the engagement of the students, in terms of their the academic performance, understanding, the level of understanding. I think it was very much encouraging. The results were very much encouraging. So definitely I believe that technology can be an useful tool. It cannot completely replace, but it can be a useful tool where the teachers, can use it to create a pedagogical experience.
Yes. And here, may I add some points?
Yeah, sure.
That my daughter is also learning in the through the methodology of SDL. So she is
Okay.
having continuous assessment, and whatever way she is learning, her college has not provided them any kind of lecture. They are attending online lectures. So it is work integrated learning she is doing. So
Okay.
learning by earning. So next year she will be getting package. So this way, this is also I feel that one of the best way of or the method of SDL. So she's assignments. She's getting every week assignments, and some videos are there, and then her professional skills are also assessed through those videos. Watch the video and give answer of the questions in the video. So this way she is attempting her assessment. For assessment also technology plays a vital role, I think.
Exactly. I think if we take the, upgradation of the educators, you're constantly doing the certificate courses and all. So it is very much a part of SDL where
Yeah.
you're, updating your skills and all. So I think it is there everywhere, and technology is playing a very important role. We have to acknowledge the role of technology, and I believe technology is a tool which, when used properly by the teachers, can do wonders. That is my take on the things. Uh,
So may I comment, please, on this?
sure, ma'am.
Actually, online discussions with various the students of the various countries can actually enhance the knowledge of the child. I feel this
Yes,
is very important, like video conferencing. That plays a very important role because while conferencing, like a child sitting in India and the child sitting somewhere in US, when they start discussing various learnings, various knowledge, they get more and more wider spectrum of that particular thing. So that actually helps. The webinars help. Like at the moment we are having a webinar. So that is something which is very important. And there are various mobile apps which are constantly coming up which provides knowledge by various then we have various exposure to various games online games through which children find it very interesting to learn more about a particular thing which they are curious about. So virtual learning environments there are quite a lot and they get more and more opportunity to explore more the resources, more the exploration, and more their knowledge grows. So I feel digital platforms are very much necessary in today's world because through this technology, the child is gaining more from the environment around it.
exactly, ma'am. I think this is a very important point which you have raised. Connecting to different cultures and different countries. So whenever we are, it has become the world has become one global village, we can say. It has become small, and we have become one global small village actually, where we can connect to someone, miles away with just a click. And this cross-cultural exchange of ideas, I think that can play a very important role in expanding the horizons of the student. So he can learn many things. They can learn from us, and we can learn from their way of learning. And we can incorporate whatever the good from the other countries or vice versa. I think the cross-cultural connection is one important benefit what we are getting from the digitalization. And again, what you have raised, one pertinent thing is how the digital these things can play a very important role in SDL, as in you have taken in the concept of gamification. I think a lot of research has been done on the gamification and incorporation of gamification. So we know that the kids are naturally inclined towards the
Sure.
animations. So what better than using the same thing for their benefit? So anyway, whenever we are, sometimes when we talk to the educators or to the parents, there is one stigma that is there is the use of technology. What, on field I had faced. But technology is, indispensable. We cannot do away with the technology, and it would be foolishness not to take in the technology. The only thing is how we are using it. So we can definitely use it for our benefits. And when it comes to, limiting the screen time, we can balance between the physical activities and using the screen time for education. So that can be a good thing to do instead of, completely shutting down them, because they are 21st century kids. They are born into technology. We cannot take it away from them, and nor is it wise. So I think gamification, there has been a lot of research which has been done, and it has shown immense results. In many of the studies and meta-analysis, gamification, they are saying, is the way, how we can interact, make the study more engaging and interactive.
Interesting. Yeah.
Definitely, that is one pertinent question. Ma'am, can you give me an example? Have you ever tried incorporating SDL into your schools, if at all you have done?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh,
We are bringing in, like, when we teach a chapter, like I'm a bio teacher as well. In spite of my admin work, I try to find some time for the children and teach them. So once a chapter is done, for example, photosynthesis. Okay. Now they know what is photosynthesis. Then based on that experiment, we throw questions to them. What if we do this particular condition? What we create a condition in which the plant is kept in such a manner. So what will happen? The logical thinking has to be developed. Just teaching is of no use unless the child develops the core idea about that chapter. Once they understand the basics, you know, they should be asked questions, reasoning questions, logical questions, where they can answer, think logically and answer. So we have been taking up such kind of things. We take them out, say for a visit to the biogas plant. We show them how the process takes place, and we develop the nature of questioning. We ask them, now you have any questions? Please throw the questions. And children themselves they discuss first, and then, of course, we are the guide. We answer the questions. If they are not exactly to the right answer, then we are bringing them to the right thing by right thinking. So that way we direct them to think, and they find the education more interesting because it is not rote learning. It is not just learning from the books. It is like going to a particular condition, a particular environment, studying the processes, and then inculcate the habit of questioning, and later then they think about it and logically answering to the questions which are given to them. So these are something which we are inculcating in our children, and I feel that is helping the children to find the interest, to solve their curiosity.
I think you have summed up well, ma'am. I think you were speaking about inquiry-based learning, what again the CBSE is trying to incorporate into its, many things the NEP and CBSE have been trying to incorporate. So you were encapsulating the essence of inquiry-based learning from what I have understood. Right, ma'am. This is turning out to be such a beautiful discussion with both our learned educators, and it is a beautiful and naturally free-flowing ideas. We are able to think, reflect upon, and generate upon new ideas. And it can be a source of inspiration for many schools. Such webinars and discussion. It can be a source of knowledge and inspiration for them to start this concept of SDL in the schools. Yes, ma'am. And Manjari, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. Ma'am, can you tell me some pedagogical methods or processes which you have tried to do in order to incorporate SDL, or what can be the various methods by which we can incorporate SDL?
Basically, experiential learning is the best method of implementing SDL in school. And the second is research-based learning. So to foster research-based, because it is the new concept, and I was also the new in the school because 2 years only I worked together. Now I'm teaching it as you know. But here I found that children are having a lot of curiosity. So I can give you examples of two projects which implemented in our school. That first one was some students in our school were very naughty and they were not keeping our washrooms clean. So and a lot of noise was there to maintain the discipline. So some problems were there. So problem solving is also one of the um, aim of STL, I feel. So
Yes, definitely.
I asked them that what things you found that our school is behind. So they told me that our school needs to maintain the discipline, cleanly place. So these were the two goals set by a group of students. Then I asked them that who want to come with me. So some of them, 25 or more than that, those children were with me. So we started asking questions. So interviews were prepared, questionnaires were prepared by those children. First of all, they set their goals. First, problems were found out where we are lagging behind. Then goals were set. Then the questionnaires were filled. Then those children used to go to other classes for asking some questions. That why do you feel these things? What is happening in the school? Why children are making noise? What are the issues? Then they found out that some children are naughty and some hyperactive children are there, those who want to move around when teacher is not there, or during transition period they make noise. So then we come to the conclusion that problem solving, that lot of brainstorming had been done by them. Then we came to the conclusion that we want such kind of system which can direct them and attract their minds. So they prepared one robot out of waste boxes. We are having books boxes. So a nice robot was prepared by my children, and then in that they set one recording, one pen drive was set over there, and during the break the affirmations were run by the robot. So our robot started talking. Robot is instructing us, you are good children. I'm observing you since morning. So they found that, yeah, really robot is watching us. That robot was made movable by using some wheels of wheelchair. And then those small, our office chairs are there. So small wheels were attached to it and we were shifting it to floor by floor all the time. We fortnightly. And then when small children found that the robot is watching us since morning, so they started maintaining discipline. Somebody is watching them rather the human beings. So they found attracted towards that robot. That was the first practice that was done by us and it was really appreciated by parents and as well as students learned a lot to that thing that how to create the robot. So our integrated project also had come. Interdisciplinary project was there. One lesson was there in Hindi, robot on robot. So that was also inculcated. The teacher brought that robot to the class and taught. So lot many things. Cross curricular activities were taken during this research, our research. It was done by more than 1 month by my children. The another these teachers day I told them that we are just celebrating teachers and celebrating Teachers Day and offering flower. That doesn't make sense. So you find out that why children are not reluctant to complete the homework, reluctant to sit quietly in the classroom, and reluctant to learn the things by heart. So all these were the problems. Then again we set the goals, and on that they prepared. But now they wanted to present their conclusions, that all project-based learning, problem solving, then they use some PPTs also, they use some other resources. Technology was also used by them to find out the solutions. And then later they set a drama. And then one Maharaja was created, and then the other mantris were giving their notions about that why children are lagging behind because they are using gadgets. They are playing, their screen time is more. They are playing games on the mobile, and that's why they are reluctant to study. That's why they are reluctant to read the books. And then the conclusion, we now see onwards, and they talk put to both at the end of the drama. So this was a very nice performance through art integrated, technology based, as well as the problem solving and self-directed learning was also there. They only chose their own method for research and all, and different ways of observations were used. And then all those documents were collected to the teacher, and this was done by within the period of 10 days before the teacher's day. So
I
this
think
was
it was very interesting and amazing. It's blissful to listen to what all you are trying to say. And again, you brought in a very important concept of experiential learning.
yes,
I think experiential learning, by far, the experiential learning or project-based learning is one of the most powerful tools. What I believe it can connect us to the using our knowledge by connecting to the real world problems, how we can actually apply our knowledge to solve the real world problems. And also incorporated in what you are saying is the design thinking skills, the
yes,
way they were empathizing the problem, they were ideating, and they found the solution. So everything is incorporated. So it is like as you rightly said, it is a multi curricular activity. And the impact that it can have can be huge. They are growing up as individual rather than sticking to knowledge and just rote learning. They are growing up. The neurons are really opening. I think that's a wonderful example of what it is very commendable. And I wanted to know if the robot was really made or it was
no, no, it was not having any kind of limb activity. Body activity was not there. It was made. I'll share picture and even recording of that robot if I'm having in my mobile. But photo I can send you. That long boxes were pasted. One on the other boxes are there, and there is a stand, and there is a recorder kept in the another box which is made up as a
yeah.
head, and then the
What
recording.
yeah.
One pen drive was attached
The
to that.
Yeah, the underlying thing is it has solved the purpose. And one more important takeaway, what we can take is the positive affirmation. How the
Yeah,
positive
affirmation.
affirmation make a lot of difference. I think
Yeah.
that's a wonderful example and
I
Ma'am,
would
very
like to add that as I feel that rather instructions, the affirmations are effective. Rather
definitely,
instructions, affirmations are effective. So that
definitely. That is one important takeaway we can take. And ma'am,
ma'am, may I add to it? Like in our school, like we have been teaching environmental education. So
yes, ma'am.
environment is something very, very important. That is the burning topic since so much of pollution is occurring, so much of problems in the environment. So in order to teach our children the project-based learning method, then we encourage our children to do auditing. Now they go to various people, check on their homes. Like they have been doing auditing of electricity. How much consumption of electricity takes place in the household? So we try to develop that project-based learning by letting them go to various houses, find out what all electrical appliances they are using, and accordingly they check on the electricity bills of each and every household, and then they study like which appliances were taking in more of the electricity, which is consuming more of electricity, and how can they reduce the consumption of electricity. And of course, we also help our children in the project-based learning by interviews. They go for the people who are like drivers. They go for the auto person. They go for the bus drivers. They go for the drivers. They discuss like how many times they are getting the maintenance done, which fuel they are using, and how much mileage does the vehicle give. And they also find out whether it is old vehicle like 15 years or more? Or is it the new vehicle? They do the auditing. And this kind of project-based learning is actually helping them. We have also given them the, that they can go to the garden, school garden. They find out different plants and they study of each and every plant. How are they helpful, and what is the use of having that plant in the garden? Because every plant has some use. So if it is not flowering or giving fruits, at least it is actually conserving the soil. So they chalk out they find out the botanical name of that plant. They found the use of that particular plant, and this kind of project-based learning is also helping them to come up with various problems and how to solve the problems. Like pollution is the topic, so they try to come up with the problems that the environment is facing, and then they try to solve them by suggesting the drivers, like, please go for CNG, which is less polluting in nature. Then they also ask the drivers, how much speed are you maintaining with the vehicle? Is it too high speed? If it is very high, then the speed is consuming more of fuel. So it has to be optimal. I mean, it has to be a particular, they have to maintain a limit for speeding the vehicle. So all these things are very well, the problem solving technique is also learned through the project based learning techniques. Then, of course, I have already discussed how we bring in the inquiry based learning. So while teaching the children various concepts, we keep on asking questions that helps to develop the inquiry based learning. Then, of course, collaborative methods are very much important. The collaboration, like we ask them to do the projects in groups. So when they are in group, they are investigating together. They are finding more and more to support each other. So more knowledge comes in, more of group activity comes in. So that also helps them. And one student learns a little more about a particular thing, then they start teaching the peer group. That is
Exactly.
also something very much important because teaching the peer group is also one way of learning experience. So all these methods we have been implementing in our school, and these kind of project-based, inquiry-based learning, then problem-solving techniques. These are certain things which are very much useful for gaining more and more into the field wherever they are trying to learn more and more.
Definitely. The collaboration again, it comes sums up to the 21st century skill, where you should be able to work together as a team. So definitely these activities are encompassing so many, the skills, what we are aspiring in the students. Uh, and one more environmental, when you spoke about the environmental thing, I think this is a very, very pertinent topic. What the UNESCO is telling us, the sustainable development goals or the climate change, what we are already seeing. The climate change is real, and it is very important that the students are, sensitized towards it. where they can use the resources in a responsible way, like switching off the fans or the all the ACs and all whenever there is not required. I do that exactly at my home. I tell them that the AC, when there is necessity only, you are supposed to use it. Absolute necessity. Otherwise, we should be allowing the natural ventilation. It is not any fashion or fad. What we are doing by circulating the AC air, we are just, inhaling this carbon dioxide. So if we are when we are making them aware of the things, probably they will be sensitized towards their own health and the environment. And this is one more beauty of the project-based learning, where we are connecting them to the real-world problems so that the understanding can be holistic and wholesome. That's a beautiful discussions. I think I'm just overwhelmed. That's a beautiful takeaways we are getting from each of your perspectives. And finally, to end the topic, ma'am, I would like to know what is the role of the loop when we speak about the learning loop. One is the teacher, the second one is the student, and the third one has to be invariably the parent. So, what is the role of parent in incorporating the self-directed learning?
Again, I would like to share the activity which is conducted every year by me, that I give chance to parents, because giving exposure to each and every stakeholder is my habit. I want to develop the contacts also. So I speak to them that those who want to come forward, they come forward. Then they take part in this activity. I give them, we just divide the topics. This activity is only for pre-primary, to empathize and to develop empathy among parents regarding the teacher's job. So they are selecting, we are giving them some topics, they are researching on those topics, and then the parent becomes the teacher, and then they are coming to our school using different gadgets, I give them autonomy. Then again, it comes to STL of the parents that you are having autonomy, use whatever methodology, even gadgets, whatever teaching aid you want to use. So some are bringing charts, some are bringing models, some are showing them videos. We are arranging TV over there. We are having TV mobile TV, so we can shift it anywhere. So they are coming to our school and they are conducting class of the parents, those who are sitting in front of the children, those who are sitting, and even the teachers are observing them teaching. So this is well appreciated activity, and every year I found that mostly mother parents are coming forward to take up the class, and then they are really enjoying this. So that connectivity and belongingness towards the school is being developed by the parents. So again, they use technology for researching the topic, because most of them, they are not belonging to the field. And I feel that teachers, those who are working in the same school since 10, 15 years, many a times it is that the young parents who has just completed 25, 30 years of their age, they are rather knowledgeable to the teachers many a times it is found. It is my observation. So they carry the various type of instincts, as well as various type of skills they are having, because multi-talented parents are also there. So to make best use of such parents, and they are very enthusiastic. They always want to give guidance to the school, that they are coming to the school and they are giving a note of guidance. So I tell them that you will become prepared teacher and then only teach to school. So one day activity is being performed in our school, and the parents are getting involved in that. Apart from that, we are also calling her parents, those who are qualified, those who are having some knowledge about psychology, child psychology. Some are lecturers, so we are calling them to guide our girls also. One lecture based on uh, genes-based intelligence. So this was a topic taken by one of my parents, and then she is MSc in microbiology. So she took that topic and then she guided my girls that how our intelligence is working in all the while progressing in her life and while adapting the situations, various situations in her life. So this way also
That's a beautiful thing what you have brought up. Again, bringing together all the stakeholders. This is a very pertinent and important thing. Even me being a parent, we have so many inputs to give. We want the best for the students. We are always trying to give whenever we go to the PTM, parent teacher meeting. We are trying to give, the new things or new ideas or some sharing of knowledge.
Yeah.
As you have rightly said, there are many parents who are multi-talented, they are professionals in their own field. So when we get together all the stakeholders, I think it can open up a lot more avenues. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you again for your great perspective. Ma'am,
Well, ma'am, may I please add to it?
yeah,
Like
ma'am.
to bring up a child, it's not only the teacher's responsibility, but also the parents' responsibility, and together they can foster the environment in the child. The curiosity can be developed within the child, and then the most important thing is by teachers as well as parents is encouragement.
Exactly.
Encouragement plays a very important role. So the parents have to give a conducive learning environment to the child. They should encourage the independence in the child. They
Exactly.
should help the child in the lifelong learning habits. So the parents' role is very important because after school, the child goes home. So the both the places, if the child is given encouragement and given all the conducive learning experiences, the environment, then development becomes easier. The child's development becomes better. So the
Exactly.
parents' role is very important. They can encourage the curiosity that the child has developed. They can ask them some open-ended questions. Why, how this particular thing has happened or happening. They can encourage the child by giving opportunity for self-reflection. They start, looking into themselves, like what can be the reason for that particular incident to happen. What is the reason behind that research? What is the aim of the research? The goal setting has to be done by the parents and teachers. Without goal, no learning can happen. So a proper goal setting, proper planning has to be done by the parents as well as the teachers. So both the sides, the teachers as well as parents, they are the responsible beings which can guide the child. And of course, as and when the child is learning, the collaboration among the peer group should be encouraged, even by the
So that is
parents. Like if the child wants to go out and for a project, the parents have to support that. The parents should be involved in that. The parents should give all the resources that the child requires. Then the child can learn. The child cannot be stopped at home. No, you cannot go. And, give a healthy time management. How to fix the timetable at home is a very important thing. Because when the child goes home, the child feels relaxed and the child will waste his time watching the mobile or TV. It's better the parents prepare a healthy time management through a timetable. Well, this is the time when you have to eat your snacks, have your dinner. This is the time when you can go out and do the learning with your peer group. This is the time when you can go out and play in the open air, not at home. So all these balanced planning is also a very important thing which a parent can do at home. So they
exactly.
should be involved. They should be engaged while the child is learning. So that is again, I feel the parents' role is vast, very, very important,
Exactly, ma'am.
along with the teachers.
Yeah. I think you have given one input which is very important. That is the role of the parents lies in setting up the routine and discipline, where the children are knowing what to expect. So it becomes a lot more easier for them, a lot more peaceful and structured environment. So setting up of routine is very important. And like you were saying, giving a conducive environment for the child. Every place is a place of learning, what I feel. Like when the child goes to the home, when he's in the kitchen, there are so many things to learn from the kitchen, the boiling of the water, many things. Everything is involving science. So you can just ask them a question, trigger their curiosity. So we need to find the opportunities always to trigger the curiosity of the child and help him, guide him, find the answers. I think that's a very valid point what you have given, that the parents have to be involved with the child, whether it is
Right.
their learning or their development as a whole, wholesome and holistic individual. On that note, ma'am, I would like to thank you all. This has been a beautiful session, ma'am. And I hope that we can continue the collaboration and bring in more inputs so that we as educators can grow, keep on increasing our perspectives and knowledge, and we may be helping, or inspiring the others in whatever small ways we can. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Manjari, ma'am. Ma'am, Manjari, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Manjari ma'am and
Yes,
Chandrika ma'am, for your valuable time.
thank
And I'm so happy it has turned out to be a fruitful discussion, ma'am. And
Yes, ma'am. I'm
we
also happy.
hope to, use all the inputs when we try to give these inputs to our community of educators. I hope we will be opening avenues for, new avenues for the self-directed learning. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your precious
Thank
time.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you
you.
for giving
Yeah,
us the opportunity.
yeah,
Thank you.
opportunity.
Pleasure is
Yes,
mine. Thank you.
thank